of all, it surprised me. I thought that USC, retires in the state of Arizona, Colorado. I thought those teams would probably pick the others just based on the way that we finished last year in a rather disappointing fashion. I would hope that our internal expectations, the standards that we're trying to hold ourselves to, would weigh more on us than the external expectations. But in today's digital world, our players will be aware of that. Hopefully we can minimize the effects on it and just stay focused on what we need to do, the process that we need to take in order to hopefully make our way to the championship. Well, first of all, anytime that you're dealing with sexual abuse and you're dealing with young people specifically, the first thing you have to think about is the victims. And our hearts go out to the victims, the father of 4 young children. I can't imagine the horror of being in that position. You can't think of anything that can be more horrifying as a victim. So our first thought is towards that. Tom is a man of integrity that was heavily vetted, not just by UCLA, but by others as well. We went through a lengthy process in determining whether or not we wanted to make that hire. From our chancellor on down, everybody was involved in the decision and took it very, very seriously, with the accusations of dead intensity, not with regards to Tom, but just in general. And so, yeah, that was part of the vetting process. We were privy to as much information as was available at that time. I can't tell you specifically if it was known at that time. I can tell you that any information that was public that we had access to was known and was reviewed.
Was there a review after these allegations?
No. Tom made a statement. His lawyer, who was his attorney, David Fred Sr., I think he was very specific. I think that this is a situation that is obviously being delved into great depth, and I think Tom will stand by his statement, I'll stand by his statement, and we'll all stand by him. I'm happy about. We've been talking about talent a lot of times. Talent is one thing, but team chemistry and attitude and work ethic and character and the type of coaching you're building, some of the intangibles are as important as talent when you're going through a long, grueling season. And I'm excited about those aspects of our team. And coming out of spring, I felt as good as I have in my 5 years there about where we were in those areas. So that gives me a lot of hope for the future. It's going to be a difficult season. It always is. The Pac-12 is the dog and dog conference, and there are no easy games. You don't bring Reagan in the week and then compete, and so that is a challenge. And so we need to be able to build consistency. And what people know, who all know, and our fans know, is that we've had some games where we were off. I shouldn't ever want to say you should have won a game, but games that we didn't play up our potential. So we have to develop a more consistent approach each week. And I think that comes with maturity. I think it comes with the team and the things that we talk about. We've done well. Our young men have dedicated themselves to that. Coach Willis has done a great job. And part of that was the fact that we lost some really good players on defense. Some of our angels. But coming out of the spring practices, moving into the summer conditioning program, it's a good looking move. And I was talking specifically towards the defense. If you look at the way Jalen is today, getting Eddie back and adding some of the young men that we have that have some size, and looking at Eric, Matt Dickerson is now 290 pounds, or Dean Andrews is 20, not chubby, but fit. I think we moved in the right direction. We've got to continue to do that.
What's the status of some of those guys? Mora?
you know what, they're all players right now. I think the important thing is that, especially two guys that played a lot of football, specifically Eddie and Fabian, is that we do a really nice job of managing them through the ball game and making sure that they're getting the work that they need so that they're sharp and they're prepared to go to Texas and play well, but that we don't wear them out. We don't sacrifice their health. And we'll do a good job of that. You know, we've changed the structure of our training camp a little bit this year. Everyone knows we've always done San Bernardino for 2 weeks. This year we're going to spend the first week at UCLA, and then we're going to go out to San Bernardino just for 6 days and have 9 practices and really get after it, and then we'll come back to UCLA and start preparing for the season.
What's your biggest concern going into the year, going to offense?
My concerns are always the health and welfare of our players, staying healthy and that balance between being and working that you need to get in order to be prepared for the season, staying healthy. Specific to position, like, you know, probably every coach in here just depth, you know, along the offensive line specifically. Filling, you know, the spots that we lost, the 3 great receivers that left us, Devin Fuller, Jordan Payton, and Thomas Duarte, and filling the production that we were missing there. But I feel good about our team. I feel good about the attitude that they have and the way they work. Really do.
What do you feel your greatest strengths will be?
I think that we've got 2 outstanding offensive tackles in Connor McDermott and Colton Miller. I think those guys are both, they have some special traits in them. I'm excited about the running back position with Nate Starks and Sosa Jamambo and Bolo Olunfemi. And we bring in 2 pretty darn good freshmen, Brandon Stevens and Jalen Starks. I think that's a solid group right there. I like our defensive line and our linebackers. Really, I like our defense in general. I think that, you know, we've made a little bit of a change in our scheme. We've gone from a 3-4 structure more to a 4-3, which, interestingly enough, is what we played predominantly anyway, because we're in so much nickel. But I think it fits the personality of our players better. And having them in the system really for the second year, although we made some minor changes, it's still essentially the same system. I think will help them play faster, more confidently, and more efficient.
What did you learn from last year that will help you launch yourself to a higher level this year?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
What did you learn from last year to help you to propel your team to a higher level this year?
Well, every year, you know, every week, every game, you try to learn and apply those lessons. I can't tell you anything just specific that stands out other than the need to, you know, constantly emphasize to your players preparation, work habits, attitude, consistency, taking every opponent as, you know, the most important opponent that you've ever played, and really trying to play to your standard every week, rather than playing up and down to the level, the interpretation of the, you know, people think the level of the opponent is. Josh has a chance to be very, very special. He's a talented young man. He's got tremendous arm talent. He's very, very smart. He has a great feel for the game, both offensively and defensively. He can make all the throws. And it's up to him how great he becomes. You know, it'll be determined by his work ethic, by his ability to learn and adapt. And he's shown a willingness to do all those things. I'm really excited about him. He's got a good off-season. His teammates really respect him and really like him. And I think, you know, the great quarterbacks that I've been fortunate to be around, I've been able to, you know, I don't say this in braggadocious way, but I've been able to be around some of the greatest ever, all have a personality trait that allows them to integrate themselves into the team, become a member of the team, well-liked and well-respected, you know, to go out and do things with the guys, but also separate themselves from the team. They need to assume that leadership role as a quarterback. And I see those traits in Josh at a very young age. He just needs to continue to develop that way.
Slight change in the training camp structure, or everybody likes something in the past?
I have liked San Bernardino, and I still do like San Bernardino. I think it serves us well to go out there. But quite frankly, we were out there too long. In that first week, we only allowed 1 practice a day. And it became a little bit more of a grind and a burden on our players and our staff than I really like. So what we're going to do is that first week we're going to stay at the new lesson center there, that beautiful little on campus right in our fields. We're going to use our facilities. We'll have one practice a day. We'll have our normal walkthroughs and meetings. Then we'll do some team activity. Some things are a little bit different, just some team bonding, maybe bring in some great speakers and things like that. And then we'll have to stand up and do that second week. We can have 2 days. We'll have 9 practices in 6 days and really get after it, really grind. And then we'll come back and get ready for the season. So we just felt as a staff at this point in our development, that was the best way for us to do it.
Have you ever faced a former coordinator in the first game after he left your staff? I don't know if that ever happened to you in the NFL, but it's a pretty unique situation. Yeah.
I have actually a lot. Yeah, a number of times.
Really? Did you change anything?
It needs to change some things, yeah. You need to change some signals, some of your verbiage. But that's natural for us right now because we have adapted our offenses a bit.
Okay.
I don't know how much we'll have to change defensively, probably some of our hand signals, but structurally, probably not anything. When I was asked an advantage to play something that we were so familiar with, it is and it isn't because he's familiar with you as well.
Right.
So it's all about going out and executing and playing well, protecting football, taking football, and doing those things.
What sort of message did you have, if any, for Josh after the game with the hot tub and the Trump hat?
The hot tub, I found it amusing. I thought it was a young college student having a little bit of fun. You know, the Donald Trump tweet and then the NCAA tweet. We had conversations about that and about the appearance, about the image that he's projecting for himself and for his university. But I'll tell you this, UCLA has a long history going back to cleaning up the bar, who was all senator at the time, and Bill Walton, of having people on their campus that are socially aware and not afraid to rattle the cage a little bit. And I just want to make sure that Josh understands that this is a different world, and that everything that he does say is being analyzed and sometimes overanalyzed, and that he's making good decisions and thinking twice before he speaks once. And more for his future than anything else. But, he's a young man, and he's got his own thoughts, and we want to encourage that, but at the same time, we want to be socially responsible.
Is that part of the reason why Josh is here today? Is it
Why?
The fact
Because
that
we've always brought up a class, and, so Jayon and Connor were like, Josh he's played 1 season of college football. These guys have played multiple, so that's been our policy. It's not to hide it, and they'll have, access to every member this year. Quite simply, it's not to hide it. It's rewards and for our classroom are pretty big for them.
Coach, we have talked about team speed, especially with the turnover. I know UCLA has a lot of Wilson from the state times. Have you addressed that?
Well, Ishmael has, and we're getting back to the issue. He's been a pretty dynamic returner, very good return for us. I don't know where we rank or where we rank in the return thing, but I believe that we were pretty darn good, quite frankly. Not maybe not for touchdowns. Those are hard to do. But getting Ishmael back there again as a returner, I think will help us. We moved him to offense in the spring. He's a dynamic guy when he has the ball in his hands, and hopefully, we can block things up a little bit better for him, and then we can make some special things happen on his own. He's athletic.
What was the kind of logic behind it? Obviously, very good over offense.
Yeah, great question. Very good offense. Very good defensive player for us. But we've got some corners that we have a lot of confidence in. We get David back, Marcus Rios is healthy. Some of our young guys have come along. And as I said, Ishmael's a dynamic player with the ball in his hand. And so if we can dictate when the ball's in his hands rather than him having to intercept it or a kick that may go, to an area that he can't field it, us being able to design plays that get the ball in space, I think will benefit us. But there's a chance that he'll still see some time on defense.
How's that transition gone?
Great. It was great. One of the things that I love is that he brings a defensive mindset to an offensive position, a real element of toughness and competitiveness and feistiness. And he's not only is he good with the ball in his hands, but he's a tenacious blocker as well. And so I think that'll really benefit us offensively.
Jim, how much did you and Connor talk about his decision to come back?
Quite extensively. Quite extensively. You know, I try to talk to all those guys just based upon my experience in the NFL and going through the draft on that end and what evaluators are looking for. And Connor and I spoke extensively about it, and I was pleased that he made the decision that he made. I was talking to Lincoln Kennedy last night, who's a great player in the NFL, and whose son is, you know, one of the great players in the country at that position as well. And you know, Lincoln's thought was, you know, the offense, you can't get enough reps. The two positions where you need repetitions are quarterback and offensive line. And so for Connor to be able to come back and play 12, 13, 14, 15 games, whatever it ends up being, and get those reps will only enhance his position in the draft next year.
And the A&M game coming up, he's going to be under the microscope because of Garrett. I mean, is that matchup going to be overhyped, or is it something you're already kind of?
I think everything's a little bit overhyped. You know, I think in a team sport, when you start emphasizing the individual battles too much, you know, it overhypes it. Because we'll give him help if he needs it. You know, we'll put a tight end there, we'll chip him sometimes. You know, we'll move the pocket a little bit, and then there'll be times that Connor just has to